Hey rookies, if I had a time machine, do you know what I would do for my first deal that would have sent my entire real estate career rocket launch even faster? House hacking. In this video, I'm going to show you all things house hacking, the pros, the cons, what you should do, what you should look out for. So let's do this. Hey friends, my name is Anson Young and I'm a real estate agent and investor in Denver, Colorado. We do fix and flips, we do wholesales, we do BRRRR rentals in Denver and beyond. That's who I am. I'm also an author for Bigger Pockets. I wrote Finding and Funding Great Deals, and they were nice enough to publish that and put it out for me. Enough about me. Since you're right here on the Bigger Pockets Rookie YouTube channel, please leave them a like and a subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to read what you guys want to say. You know, it's interactive. I definitely love to hear from you. Let's get started. First, I'm going to talk about what house hacking is, and then we'll go through some pros and cons. And at the end, we'll go through some tips and tricks of what to look out for in your house hack, a house hacking guide by Anson. That sounds good. We'll patent that. Like I said in the intro, I wish that when I started out that I would have bought a duplex and just lived in one side and rented out the other as I went through the rest of my investing journey. That's really all house hacking is. It's a live-in rental scenario. So whether you buy a house and you live in one room and you rent out the other rooms, or you buy a duplex and you live in one side, rent out the others, buy a fourplex, live in one, rent out the others, you get it. But also as an agent, I've seen the power of the house hack as I've helped a few dozen clients get into their first properties by house hacking and then seeing within a year or two they're ready to buy their next property. Some of my clients, they're on their fourth or fifth property in as many years because of the power of the house hack. So it really is a truly amazing financial independence vehicle. Let's get into some of the pros here. So the first pro is that you have great financing options. Since you're going to be living in the property, you get to capitalize on the first-time homebuyer programs like FHA, which typically have a 3.5% down payment. They're a little bit softer if you have not so great credit, let's just say 620, 680 and above. So if credit and down payment is your issue, well, there's a solution for that. The second pro is that you get to live in your house hack for free. So most house hackers have their mortgage paid for entirely by their roommates or their rental income. What could you do for the next 1 or 2 years if your entire housing expense was taken care of by somebody else? How quickly could you save up for that next investment property? The answer is pretty great. Live there for free. That's a great pro. And even if your housing expense is like a couple $100s a month, it's better than the several thousand that it would be if you weren't house hacking. The third thing is tax advantages. Since you are an owner occupant, you get to take advantage of taking off your mortgage interest. You get to, if you have a home office, you can deduct some of your home office. When you go to sell the property, if you've lived there for 2 out of the last 5 years, you can take your profit as tax-free since you lived there, up to $250,000 if you're single, but talk to your CPA about that. So the tax advantages are great because you actually live there. You get to get a lot of the homeowner tax advantages. The fourth thing is to do a short-term hack for your house hack. So here in Denver, you can only Airbnb or do a short-term rental on your property if you live there, if you're an owner occupant. So really the only people who can legally do short-term rentals are people who live in the property. So whether you Airbnb the extra rooms in your home or you Airbnb the duplex side next door, you're really maximizing your cash flow in that scenario, and you're one of the only investor types that can capitalize it or capitalize on it in a market like mine where you have to be an owner occupant. That's the great thing about house hacking. You're the owner occupant. So imagine living on one side of a duplex and renting out the other side for $200 a night or more. That's a lot of money. And the fifth thing is that you have a ton of options. So there's a bunch of different property types that you could be looking at, whether it's a house that has extra rooms. Let's say you look at a house that has an unfinished basement and you could put in 3 bedrooms and a bathroom down there and rent those out each for $800-900 a month. Those are a lot of great options. You could look at duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes. You could look at a house that has a separate basement unit. You could look at a house that has an accessory dwelling unit in the backyard. You could look at a house that is zoned for accessory dwelling units and build your own unit in the backyard. There are so many options inside of a house hack, much more than just a traditional rental or a house that you're going to go live in. So now we have to talk about the cons, unfortunately. And the first one is you have to live with other people. I know, people. So in a single family house hack, you're basically taking on roommates. And you know, a lot of us are a little bit too old to want to deal with taking on roommates. But if you're okay with taking on roommates, hey, this may not be a con, this may be a pro, maybe you're a people person, I don't know. The second thing is that even with separate units, you live in close proximity to your tenants, and that could cause issues. If they know that you are the landlord, they might come knocking on your door at 2 in the morning when their toilet overflows. So you kind of have to set those expectations up front on how they should communicate with you, even though you live right next door. Some people don't want to have their tenants living next door. And the third thing is, well, those two are really the only downsides that I've actually ever heard from my dozens of clients who are house hackers. The pros far outweigh the cons. And so it might seem like a little bit of a cop-out, but if those are the only issues, is living in proximity and having roommates, and you have all the benefits and the upside, it's still a win-win. All right, so now for the house hacking guide and tips. So tip number 1 is that you have to know your numbers. So you need an agent or be intimately familiar with how much units like the one that you plan on renting out goes for. So if it's a room by room scenario, know how much it costs to rent out a room, or how much it brings in, really. How much you could charge for half of a duplex that's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, let's just say. Knowing your numbers up front means that you can know all of your formulas when you go into making a purchase decision. Sometimes an agent could be the one to help you if they are familiar with house hacking. The second one is to make sure that your lender is on board. Make sure that they're factoring in your potential rental income into your application process, into your payment. So you can actually qualify for a property that is higher than what you could qualify for just by yourself by applying the potential rental income. If your lender is not getting it, they don't understand, they are telling you no, go talk to some other lenders. This is definitely something that's pretty normal by now. A lot of lenders know what house hacking is. Tip 3 is to maximize your cash flow. This is your opportunity right here to absolutely do everything you can to squeeze every dollar that you can out of this property while you have to live there. So whether that's Airbnb-ing some of the rooms or the unit next door or the 3 units if you're in a fourplex, you could build an ADU in the backyard if you have zoning for that. You could put a concrete pad in on the side of your home and charge someone to park their RV there. You could rent out your garage for extra space. There are apps that allow you to rent out extra space. This is a great way while you can live there for free to maximize your cash flow to get you into that next property as soon as possible. Even if that next property is just another house hack. So there you have it. Go out there, take massive action, and thank you so much for watching. I'm Anson Young. If you want to hear more from me, please find me on Instagram or on YouTube. And happy investing. Until next time, we'll see you.